we can talk about your access bars training in class. I think that would be great. Our listeners haven't heard about that from our podcast, so I think that'd be great. And
Wonderful.
we can also talk about Friday's decision if we want to.
You might need to call in a therapist.
I know.
Or pour more cocktails from yesterday.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was telling her that I'm so hungover. I got so drunk yesterday.
Dan and I went to solo karaoke on Friday night to scream it out.
Good
I
for
know.
Just two of
you.
us in a private
so
room.
good. It sounds
Just
so
like-
good.
Good for you.
Actually,
That
now
was,
I'm remembering we did sing karaoke in my living room last night, and I did sing "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette. That felt actually really good.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's
mean,
not. It's not changing the world, but it's helping me personally work through it a little bit.
Exactly.
Exactly. You need it.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to Witchcast.
'Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily,
I'm Kate.
and we are your co-hosts of the Witchcast Podcast.
That's right. We're your learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spiritual, paranormal, umbrella, sun, universe, what have you.
That's right. And today we have a very special guest. She's been on the podcast before. We're delighted to have her back, talking about some new stuff she's working on and just the state of the world. Or anything else.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything, whatever. Please welcome Emily Grote.
Yay!
I am delighted to be with you folks again. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks
Of
for being
course,
here.
we adore you. It's been actually like a while since you've been on the pod, I think, right?
I
The
think
last
so. Yeah.
episode was with
It
you
was
in March. Right?
pre-pandemic for sure. Because
Yes. And I
Yes.
mean, since you mentioned her, let me just give, you folks were so sweet. We tried to coordinate getting Marge in on this. And she's been having a kind of a rough time. She's 87. She's entitled.
Yeah.
And she bumped her. She's like taken 2 falls since the
Oh,
winter. And then she just had this wicked, awful cold. Yes, so knock on wood, she's feeling better, but it's been a kind of a wild ride this winter through spring.
Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been hard. I can't imagine. Well, we're sending lots of healing vibes to her,
Thank
and
you.
we'll hopefully, we're definitely planning to come out to the little yellow house in Brooklyn and get both of you on for the next season for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she'd be delighted.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we'd love to see her and talk to her. But how are you?
I'm good. I'm like, I was just mentioning a little bit earlier that I've got 3 kids that graduated from 5th grade, 8th grade, and 12th grade.
Ugh.
And kind of a lot. This, all year I was like, oh my God, are they all going to fall on the same day? I'm going to have a Harry Carey. And so gratefully my son was earlier this month, but my other 2 were both on Friday. And
Wow.
thank God we had gorgeous weather. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Just amazing. Spent a lot of money at a steakhouse. I drank too much. And then my
Living
husband,
the dream.
exactly. And my husband and I was like, I want to take a shower, get on the couch, and watch Succession.
That is honestly a great day.
And
amazing.
side note, Brian Cox, the lead, one of the leads, he has a kid in my kid's high school. So he was at the graduation.
Whoa.
On Friday. I was like, I think that's Brian. And I told my daughter, I was like, you never told me. She's like, I told you your son went to my school.
You
I was
listen, Mom.
like halfway through, I'm listening. I'm like, is that important? Nope. Keep moving.
Right out the brain. That's so funny. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch you later.
Celebrity sighting. Yeah, and at one point, just another name dropping, like it even matters, but she went to a band camp a couple years ago with, oh my goodness, who did My Left Foot? And he did,
What's his name?
that's going
Daniel.
really, thank you, Daniel Day-Lewis's son.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
And my husband was like, that's, oh God, Miller. What's the playwright? That's Miller's grandchild.
Oh, Arthur Miller?
Yeah, thank you. Arthur Miller's grandchild. I was like, oh, wow.
Wait, hold on. Back up a second. Arthur Miller is Daniel Day-Lewis's father?
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law. I did
Yeah.
not know that. I did not
So
know that.
yeah, Yeah,
Crazy
Wild.
world.
crazy.
I love though
world.
that
Crazy
your
world.
husband was like not that Daniel
Total
Day-Lewis's son,
fanboying. Yeah.
more like that's Arthur
Yeah,
Miller's
Arthur Miller though.
grandson.
Like, we're gonna go way back. We're gonna have
Oh
some
man.
fanboy, like
I
the
mean, I
original
get
great
it.
playwrights.
I get it. That's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
funny.
No,
That's
Arthur Miller
that's
was
the
a real
benefit of
talent.
like having kids in New York City.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
Yes.
this is where people send their kids. Not everybody goes to like country day school, you know, and
Yeah.
$40,000
Yeah.
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta live somewhere. And this is, of all the places, if you're gonna be famous, you could probably just get ignored most of the time in New York,
Right.
which I think would probably be a positive.
Right.
Absolutely. A net positive for
We
sure.
don't care. That's what I've always said about New York. It's like we don't care. I used
And if
to
we do
use
care, we will not let you know.
yeah, we will not let you know.
True. We're not going to
In the
give you the
case of that.
satisfaction.
Yeah,
You can
right.
no matter who you are, you can still get spit on by a homeless person at any moment of the time of day. So
This is true.
it's a
This
great
is true.
equalizer, New York. Yeah. Or pigeon could shit
Oh,
on you. Yeah.
so how are
So
you folks
Emily, one of
doing?
the
Yeah.
things that
Go
we
ahead.
talked about having you on about is you've been working on access bars.
Wow.
Do you want to talk about what that is and what you've been doing with it?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year. I got to make a very long story short. So
Yeah, make it as long as you want. We're here.
okay, why not? We got the time. So I was dealing with skin cancer, basal cell
Mm.
carcinoma for 3 years from 2018 to 18, 19, 20. 18, yeah, I can't count. To the yeah. And I tried everything, did everything. I did all the topical treatments. I was trying to I avoided surgery because I was just like I literally had 6 lesions in 3 years. I'd get rid of one, another one would come up, blah blah blah.
Uh,
And finally why it took me this long, I'm not quite sure, but 3 years in, I was just like, it was, I guess by January of 2021, I was like, that's it. This is the year. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know how. And that's kind of the magic of making a decision. Like you make a choice and then life, the universe, whatever you want to call it, consciousness reorders things to present them to you. But you have to take action. So I took some not so great actions. I went to psychotherapy for a bit. Oh, but I had back in January of 2021, I just Googled like, what are the emotional roots of basal cell carcinoma? Kind of wish I'd done this like 1 year in, maybe even 6 months in, but whatever. And literally the very top hit was the National Institutes of Health, so fancy dancy scientists telling us that adverse childhood experiences, that's called your ACE score, which
Mhm.
anybody can get. There's wonderful little tools online. You can figure out what your ACE score is. So if you have an elevated ACE score, like 3 or above, plus adult onset trauma, yep, combined can create this sort of perfect storm for multiple skin cancer lesions. And I was
Wow.
like, oh my God, like to see myself on like in a scientific abstract, like that is my life. And so, we've got shame, trauma, closeted alcoholics in my immediate family, like coming from definitely a high A score or elevated A score. And then in 2018, big sort of family kerfuffle, which I won't bother you with, but it was at the time it felt catastrophic and now it feels like freedom. But when you're
Yeah.
going through it, it's really, to sort like your world is ordered based on your ideas and what your agreements are as what you think is real. And then you find out, oh, none of that was actually real. So everything sort of imploded and caved in. And it was literally in that year that the skin cancer showed up. So none of it was a surprise. So I did psychotherapy for a couple of months. That was not so helpful. Did inner child work with a gal out in California. That was actually super helpful because she helped me connect to, I think so many of us have this, and a good footnote for everybody is if you have an image in your mind of yourself as a child, like, and it's the same image, it's almost like a static picture for me. And I'm like, oh, that picture has popped in my mind like twice a year for the last 30 years. Like, but I never asked a question. I never asked, well, what does this mean? And what am I supposed to do with this? It just sort of bubbled up every once in a while. And doing the work with her, I realized, holy shit, we can swear, right?
Oh yeah.
Of course. We
She helped me realize that moment in time, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. It's when I disassociated from my body completely. And I basically chose to prize my awareness and my perception skills because my environment was not safe. So I had parents who were at war with each other. And, I just was like, oh, I have to figure out how to stay safe amongst these lunatics, you know? And so that was really helpful because it really helped me to see, oh, I made a choice, even though it was not, I didn't have the benefit of, a safe environment, right? So, but regardless, we have a decision space. And so that's sort of where mine got set. But that didn't, none of these actions helped, clear up the cancer. And fast forward, I got to, I guess it was end of May, June of last year. And a friend of mine, she's in this wonderful sort of women's network that I'm involved in, and she just posted this picture of herself. Her arms were like outstretched in the air. She was in Peru, probably doing plant medicine, and la 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 la. And this photograph was just like, whatever she's on. It was like when Harry met Sally. I was like, I'll have what she's having. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take, but like, I want that. I want that level of joy. I want that level of freedom. Whatever was epitomized in this photograph. And so she is an Access Consciousness, that's the name of the company, Access Consciousness Facilitator. And so I just went to a taster. It was a couple of hours, maybe an hour and a half, where she introduced some of the tools. And I won't be out of step, mentioning them. 2 tools. Well, Access Consciousness, sort of their whole DNA is about staying in the question. So when you ask questions, and I actually learned this a long time ago when I was just really starting to study psychic stuff, is it's all about questions. You just continue to ask. You ask your body a question, you ask your perception a question, you ask the trees, the birds, your pets, and you just trust, whatever comes up. And so she posited these 2 questions, which were, one was, how does it get any better than this? And the other one was, what else is possible? And I'm like looking at her in a Zoom box, like, what the Sam hell? Like, those questions aren't going to fix up. At the time, I still had a spot here and here. And I was like, and she literally asked me in that phone call, because I asked her about the skincare, and I said, well, what about this? And she was like, have you talked to your body? Have you asked your body a question? I was like, what the F are you even talking about? It was like really frustrating naturally. But later on that night, I was in bed, maybe about 11:30. I was having problems falling asleep, and my phone, sometimes I'll listen to like a binaural beat to fall asleep, and my phone's battery was dying. So I was going to go switch it out and go get my other phone, which was down in the kitchen. And as I'm kind of putting all this together, I realized, shit, I left my cat in the backyard. And then I was like, oh my God, it's like almost midnight. How am I going to wrangle this cat back in the house? It's New York City. It's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then as I'm coming down the stairs, we live in a duplex. As I was coming down the stairs, I remembered her questions. And I thought, it was so innocent, like, all right, what else is possible? As I'm coming into the kitchen, there's like literally moonlight in the backyard. There's no discernible light. I'm asking that question. I'm heading towards my phone, and I'm looking out the windows in the backyard, and I see my cat in the moonlight coming to the back door. And I'm like, oh my God. Let him in the house. I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. And that just sort of started my trajectory. And fast forward, I went to Access Bars is the sort of foundational class in Access Consciousness. And it's 32 points on the head, which all correlate to thoughts, feelings, emotions, anything you've decided, about your body or your life. And when they are gently touched, the idea is that it's sort of like deleting your hard drive. So you just end up with more space, fewer thoughts, fewer conclusions, everything's all decided, and less rigidity. And in that beautiful, squishy space is where everything you want comes out of it. So yeah, it was just, I left that first class and I was like levitating, because I'd never had energy work. I got into my 2nd level Reiki, but I know Reiki's fantastic for some people. And I had some really interesting entity experiences with Reiki, but I didn't have the relief that Access brought me. And so after that class, I was all in. And then I fast forward, same gal, I took another kind of a next level class with her called the Foundation, which is really about like detonating everything you believe, all of your attachments, and like starting from scratch, and not in a bad way, but just like a reorientation completely on how we're looking at life. And that is in the context of that class. I'll just share one of the tools. She turned to me and I, further asking this question about the skin cancer. And she looked at me and she did something kind of unusual because you're technically not supposed to do this, but she was just like, I don't know, because she was sort of talking about a conclusion. She's like, I don't know if that's yours. And then she asked me, is the skin cancer yours? And I was like, wait, what? What? My body is like, it's possible that my body's like picking up something else. And what I like in that split second of her asking the question, I was like, this isn't mine. I'm facing what my father is choosing not to face. Mm-hmm. So my father, I'm going to just air dirty laundry because what the hell, the tea is hot. My father has a child out of wedlock.
Wow.
That I was given basically the secret to hold since I was 15 years old. And that is also sort of more disassociation. Like I disassociated at 3 and 4 years old. And then my father, I confronted him about this sibling that I had, and he completely walked away from me. He didn't deny paternity, but he also did not put his arms around me and say, hey, sorry, you figured this out. He just like abandoned me in that moment. I was like, oh, I have a sibling out in the world, and he doesn't know that I'm his sibling. He was raised by, it's a family friend, it was, messy. The 70s were messy. There was a lot of sleeping around. And so here I know about a brother that I can't claim. And so my father, whatever, like how much, and he prizes himself on being this great dad. But how can you be a great dad if you haven't claimed your paternity?
Children? Yeah.
Your children, like kind of the most basic thing in life. And so here I was compensating, and it was all triggered by this, other family trauma stuff in 2018. So anyway, got to Foundation, had this massive realization, just so massive, that that was like a Thursday. By Saturday, these lesions closed up, gone. I went the following week. I had biopsies done again. I'm like, is this gone? We're going to double check this. I had it tested twice in 6 months, gone. Just a spontaneous remission.
Incredible.
And what I like to tell people is like, I'm not a magical person. I'm just using tools that are available for everybody if we open our mind enough and suspend our doubts and our judgments and our fears. Kate knows all about those words. Yes. If we can suspend all that and ask what's possible. Does this mean everybody, if somebody who's like quadriplegic is going to like start walking again? Well, who knows what's possible? Who knows? I have no idea. But it starts with the self, asking questions. So yeah, it was just miraculous. So I've been going on a super duper deep dive with all the access tools. It's changed. Like, we touched on, I think before we started the interview, we touched on the decision of SCOTUS, and all the despair that's around what's happening, the legislation of women's bodies, so what else is possible with that? I mean, the whole title of your podcast is Witchcast. Like, okay, witches, this is where the rubber meets the road. How witchy can we be? Because here's the thing, that I want to encourage people is, and it's given me so much relief myself, this is not our reality. We didn't make this shit. This ain't ours. We're subject to the rules of it because we're in the minority. But how can we use our witchiness, our magic, and I mean that in the most literal sense, to, hey, why don't we exact some discomfort and revenge? Why don't we, further our candidates that are for choice, right? What can we do? And I want to, I was back, I didn't mean to switch gears so abruptly, but back in 1986, I was in high school and I went to my first march, for choice. I'm not at all surprised at this decision. Not at all. These forces have been working decades and decades and decades. They are single issue voters. And when are we going to become single issue voters? I guess we are now. Guess we are now. But like, what's it going to take for us to use a different toolbox?
Mhm.
Because the tools we're using, are they working? We're
Yeah,
trying to
it's
play by the rules, right? We're trying to play by their rules and their tools. I don't know if that's been working for us. So I definitely don't have the answers, but get witchy. Exact revenge. And that's a funny thing too, is I've like, please stop me, I'm just jumping around all over the place, but
no, please.
I
like
love it.
Yeah.
Christianity, like I think
Mhm.
everything I've been through in the last year, I didn't ever identify as a witch, but like more recently, I'm like, well, I'm absolutely not Christian. I'm like, I absolutely see the fundamental misogyny and violence that's
Yeah.
baked into that system, and
Mhm.
just hatred, such hatred of anything different, hatred of women, hatred of witches, and hatred of consciousness. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so, okay, and it's like we're shedding these things. And I don't care if you're not Christian. This is a very largely Christian country.
Mhm.
Um, Certainly, all the founders, more recently, in the last couple hundred years, have just ordered this to be a Christian country, and we're suffering. It's not a
Yeah.
mistake. It's not an accident. It's all by design.
Absolutely. There was someone who said this or like was talking about this recently. Maybe it was you, Emily, but like
Mm.
how long, and it really struck with me though, that how hard the other side has been working, how organized they are, and
So
how they've played the
organized,
long
Yeah.
game for, like you said, for decades and decades. This
many
is not
decades. Yeah,
new. And this needs to be a wake up call for everyone else, that we have to put in, like you said, just as much work. We need to have that focus. We have to not be forgiving. I think we have to be just as
and that's not the
focused as
same as
they are.
living with rage and anger. I'm not
Right.
suggesting that. I want to suggest actually that we do it. Can it be easy? And it
Yeah.
can be fun. So ask those questions. Can this be easy? Can this be fun? Because it can. We could turn the whole jewelry box upside down and just be a big old party. Get all our queer candidates, all our women candidates, all our, Black folks, Asian folks, women, right? We need this representation. And how do we go about bringing them to the front?
Mm.
And can it be fun? Right?
Oh, I love
This doesn't
that.
have to be easy. This doesn't have to be like sad sack hard. We saw it coming. So let's stop clutching our pearls. Like, give yourself the rest of this weekend. Go do some more day drinking. It's Sunday. But Monday morning, everybody,
Oh, my
chop
liver.
chop.
Yeah. I was
Wake up.
shocked by how bummed
love
out I
that.
was on Friday, because it's like, I knew this.
Naturally.
I knew they've been doing this. First of all, like you said, they've been working on this for 20 years, and they leaked the opinion 2 weeks ago. Like, it wasn't like everyone was
2
like,
months
"Oh, on
ago.
Friday they're going to
Right.
overturn Roe v. Wade." But still, when I saw it, I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
just
have you folks seen these posts on Facebook or wherever, like, oh, look, Netflix or whatever these companies are that are offering, like, travel
yeah,
expense? I'm like, how's that going to go? I
Yeah.
got my employer up in my uterus knowing what I'm doing
Exactly.
with my body because I'm asking for travel. Like,
yeah. I
That's
mean, the
what
most
could
exactly what the
possibly go
disgusting
wrong?
yeah.
the best opinion I saw about that was that those companies did the quick math on what would be cheaper, maternity leave or flying someone to another state to get an abortion.
Yeah,
Yep.
You
perfect.
know.
Exactly.
It's corporate activism, just like when they put pride colors all over their products for
Exactly.
a month for June, right? It doesn't mean it's grandstanding. And yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, Emily, this is about privacy. This is about bodily autonomy. This is
Can't even
it's
imagine.
not about even like having an abortion or not. And then you have to like, yeah, justify this to your employer. And then how are you going to like, I have to fight tooth and nail just to get my corporate credit card to reimburse me for tolls for like an actual shoe. Like,
Exactly.
how am I going to prove that I needed this abortion in another state to my employer?
Yeah,
Ugh,
it's
yeah.
so messed up.
It's
Ugh.
But I love that mentality. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people weren't expecting the kind of emotion. I definitely felt it too. Like I think the emotions definitely were kind of hit us harder. I think also it's a maybe it's also our generation, because growing up in the 90s, I felt like everything will be okay. You know, like I felt like I grew up with that mentality of like things will work out. It can't possibly ever get that bad. We're a good country. Like we were instilled with
Yeah,
that
that whole like the long
patriotism.
arm of justice leans towards whatever it
Right.
is, whatever that
I'm
The weak
going
saying.
to
shall
win it.
inherit the earth, blah, blah, blah. And then
Yeah.
so to have this kind of constant um disillusionment of like, oh no, this is all very real. This is all very scary. This is all real threat. It's not just gonna go away. Like you have to
Yeah.
actually do stuff about this for your act for to fight for rights for your own fucking body, you know. It's stunning.
It is
You know,
stunning.
it's
It is
stunning for a bit.
stunning.
But I love that
And
mentality of like, okay, then now let's make the work and make it joyful.
make it joyful, make it fun, and what can we create outside of this reality? Like we're so used to playing in the sandbox, right? I was referencing, our candidates, but like I don't know. I don't know what this looks like. It's really just a question, but like what's above and beyond this reality that we haven't even conceived of yet?
Yeah.
And so what does that look like? What is it? How can we be the invitation for that? You know?
It's like wild.
How can we embody it?
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's us. And so we really, especially us, everyone who's listening, you both, me included, how can we, okay, oops, there's the despair, but I gave myself 3 days of day drinking. So, I'm going to pivot and embody joy, right? Like it really has to be deliberate. It cannot be, you can't leave it up to chance because, right, our brains operate in a very fight or flighty kind of, way, mechanism. It's just how we're wired. So it has to be this very deliberate invitation to, okay, there's more to this. There's more to this. I'm bigger than this system. I'm bigger than this reality. And so, Kate's familiar with this, but I'll just say, like, can we expand out? Everybody take a deep breath. And now we're just like as big as the multiverse. Like, if we just think about all these rules of this reality, it's so fucking small. It's like beyond small, way beyond small, like a grain of sand. And that expansion of self, when you can bring your consciousness bigger and broader than this reality, or even this world, or even this, let's just face it, even this galaxy. We're in a multi-galaxy system. There's got to be multiple players in this system. Like Stephen Hawking, referenced that. He doesn't think that we're alone in this thing, right? So if that's the truth, give or take, well, then what else is possible? We're so like trying to play in this sandbox. Fuck, detonate the sandbox.
Who needs the
I
sandbox?
love that. Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
It hasn't served us.
Yes. It never really was meant to.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So, I was just thinking before we got on this call, I was thinking of like the 80s, when women really started to enter the workforce en masse. We put these I was a little too young, but, we put these power suits on, right? It's the epitome of like trying to play,
Yeah.
within the rule system or the gaming system.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I just want to encourage everybody to think so much broader.
I think that's one of the things as I continue to learn more and more about you and work with you, that I really admire because you said earlier I don't consider myself magical. I think you're super magical, but your magic is rooted in your like continuous interest and passion and desire, enthusiasm for completely breaking down and destructing and recreating. Like you are so open. I feel like just even the few years we've known you, how much you've already learned and grown in yourself as a psychic and medium and as a practitioner. And like, just, I think you're so brave and like just so willing to be like, this doesn't work. Let's destroy and uncreate it. Let's find something else. And I love that. That's magic. That to me is so
But
magic.
here's what I want to offer you is if you can use some of these tools, like what else is possible and how does it get any better than this? I promise you, if you use them, they work. But we have to get away from, and this is true of our choice, it's true of our families, it's true of our working life, it's true of making babies and buying houses, is we have to let go of the how and the when. Get out of the how and the when. That's not our business. There's a larger consciousness system. Some people might want to call it God. I don't care about the names. I really don't. But I do know it's an organizing force that's not necessarily, it's not all daisies and smiles. It's not. It's the chief of everything. It's the chief of destruction. It's the chief of hurricanes. It's the chief of racism. It's the chief of babies and houses and flowers and birds and the bees. It's everything. And if we can be the space to just allow all that, and again, it's not a reality, so we're just sort of observing it and not judging it, we get so much more. Your magic of being a witch works infinitely better when you get out of the judgment and you get out of the expectation of the how and the when. I swear to God, it's like oil in your tank. Seriously. And it's all, I learned this the hard way. And I'm prizing joy. I won't spend the rest of my life fritting about. I mean, social media alone is it's such a sink on our emotional well-beings. I know you both know that. I don't need to preach to the choir.
Yeah.
But it is like a necessary evil, right? It's this lubricant of how we're connected to each other. And again, how can we be witchy in that space, right? So what else is possible? How does it get any better? Staying out of judgment. I mean, and not easy, right? All these forces are out to do us in. I just watched Pray Away. Did either of you watch that? Pray
No, I
Away
haven't
on
seen it.
Netflix. Oh, Ryan
No.
Murphy, I think, is either director or executive producer, but it's about conversion therapy.
Oh wow. Oh, I think I saw the trailer for it and I
It's
thought I'd like to watch
really,
that.
really enlightening, and I love how they did it because they really did it from a bunch of different points of view.
Yeah.
The people that are still in it and believe in it. They believe Jesus
Oh,
Christ
wow.
is here to save us from being queer or whatever it is that we are,
Fucked, but
right. But what they don't understand, what those people don't understand is it's judgment, whether it's Christian judgment or social judgment or whatever judgment, it's judgment. And judgment is, I think I was mentioning this to Kate not too long ago, like it's the equivalent of putting sand in your gas tank. Like imagine the gears of your engine trying to run with sand. I mean, strip your gears pretty good. And back to this, the whole skin cancer thing that I experienced and this spontaneous remission, massive component. Not only did I realize was all of this was I was literally facing my father's shame, but the other 50% of it was the judgment I had.
yeah.
This guy, he's abandoned his kid, he's abandoned my sibling,
Yeah.
It was like from 15 to I'll be 50 this year, of a lot of churning on this subject. And I didn't mention this part earlier, but a big part of this foundation class is getting out of judgment, like all judgment. Not easily done. And it's an everyday thing. It kicks up for me. I'm like, oh, there it is again.
Yeah.
This is
I
a
have a
well-worn.
strong urge to judge Clarence Thomas right now.
Absolutely. And if I could just come back to like everyone who does that to themselves, just always remember, you're not in the same sandbox as him. Your outer space, he's sandbox. Your multiverse, he's playground, right? We're not in the same realm. Your capacities far exceed his, way far. So anyway, I got that so viscerally during this class. Holy shit. And I let go of the judgment of my father as well. And that absolutely helped. It was all sort of part and parcel of like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't mine. And furthermore, I got to stop judging about it. Ooh, that's hard. I'm telling you, just like a linchpin being pulled. I hadn't seen my father since 2018 because of all this drama. 1 week, so this was the end of June, roughly, that I took that class, or mid-June something. Within 2 weeks, I bumped into my father spontaneously.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I just got to face him one last time to say, take good care, attaboy, good luck to you.
Have a
Goodbye.
nice life.
Judgment removed, and please continue
Yeah.
onward.
I mean, and for everyone who's listening, just to sort of further amplify his position in my life, he and I share a birthday.
Wow.
He is a psychotherapist.
Mm.
He's a Protestant pastor.
Mm.
So it's like a trifecta
Yeah.
of entanglement, right?
Yeah.
So what does that say about my own evolution, my own path, and where I'm going, and like, you know, me not identifying as Christian anymore? Not that I ever really did. I kind of always was like, I don't know what that means for me. Like, I was sort of like, Jesus Christ is sort of like denim. There's Guess jeans and Jordache and Sassoon and, oh my God, these are all 70s brands, but you know, right, like denim and Levi's, of course. You know, it's kind of like there's a whole lot of Christianity out there. But for me, in the face of the multiverse, like, really? We're supposed to follow one guy who lived how many years ago? Like, a little sus, as my kids would say. I don't even know if I'm using that word right.
Hey friend, do you have an idea for a great new podcast?
I bet you do. Well, you can bring your idea to life just like we did and start your podcast today with Libsyn.
Our podcast has been on Libsyn for over 3 years now, and we love it.
Yes, Libsyn has everything you need to plan, launch, and grow your own podcast.
Resources created by expert podcasters who will show you everything you need to know.
Like what equipment you should use, how to record great audio,
how to get your show onto Apple Podcasts and other popular platforms,
and so much more.
Plus, as a Witchcaster, when you sign up with Libsyn, you get your first month of podcast hosting for free.
What? There's never been a better time than right now for you to start podcasting.
This is your moment, baby. Visit Libsyn.com and use code FRIEND.
That's LIBSYN.com and use the code FRIEND, FRIEND, to get started.
And create your podcast today.
Now back to the show. Well, that's always been I think, not always, but as an adult, I feel like I always keep going back to two main emotions that I think us as humans operate out of, and it's fear and love. And you can either, and like not love beyond like romantic or familiar love. It's like that kind of elevated mindset that I feel like you're talking about, Emily. And and I think like so much of this hate, this judgment, all of it is like fear. They're just terrified. They're terrified they feel threatened by just other existence, by otherness. And that's really sad for them.
I wonder though, but how much of it is otherness as much as it might be loss of power?
Oh, loss of power, yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's what this all is about, right? It's about control.
And you can make a lot of money off fear.
Yeah.
Look at these churches, you know, much.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, well, that's what it comes down to, right? Because this is disproportionately going to affect women of color, people of color, people of lower class, people who have less access to education. Yep. And what better way to keep the poor than to outlaw any, like that's what the One Girl Project based out of Africa is all about. They believe, and they have proven that by just like supporting financially and emotionally one woman, one young girl, to help her see through school and education, the entire village benefits. It completely changes the economy of this town by supporting the women and the young girls. And so the Republicans know this. Like they don't care.
They're not stupid.
They've had mistresses and wives who've had abortions. Like they don't give a fuck about fetuses, clumps of cells. They don't care.
Super enlightening. I think it's called The House, the something. Shoot, I think it's on Netflix. Oh, I'll look it up. But it was this documentary about the Brotherhood. I don't know, some Christian organization. I want to say it started like out in Oregon or like Pacific Northwest. And it just, they figured out how to get into the halls of power and brought that, you know, I want to say from as far back as like the 40s, maybe even the 30s. 40s. So it's been, but like all these, like, it's like a secretive Christian organization. They've infiltrated, you know, the Republican Party, and what is it called? The Brotherhood, something. It's really, really good. But that was like mind blowing. So, I mean, we're talking about obviously the forces against Roe versus Wade, but the forces against, women, certainly since our founding, but as far as modern politics go, and certainly, what do we call this? The Industrial Revolution, and the last 100+ years, it's really concerted. And we've been, as women, non-binary folks, queer folks, people of color, etc. Like, I think we've all made this mistake that by working within the system, and let's be clear, obviously a lot of advancement has happened within the system, right? I don't want to deny that. But we've also just lost massive, gains. And so I don't know. I don't know how much we
And
can
they're coming
actually
for
do.
everything else, I mean,
Absolutely.
they've told us what their plans are, and they don't look good.
Yeah.
You
So, yeah, continued for the folks that, are regularly human and continue to work in the system, go do that, run for office, do your thing, become a lawyer, etc. Fight. But for the rest of us, little witchy folks, what can we do with around the system? How can we support and create? Let's face it, it's really about creation. Yeah, creating a new reality.
Yeah, I mean, they say, this is maybe, I mean, it's not that extreme of a possibility, but the way that fascism happens, like one of the things that happens is that first it's a mind game. It's when people start going, well, next they're going to take away this right. You start getting used to that idea. You start,
Right.
adjusting to what am I
yes,
going to do when that happens,
Yeah.
as opposed to how do I stop it, or because it feels inevitable.
Right.
Got to play that mind game,
Yeah.
among other things.
This makes me feel a lot better, because I do think I have this tendency to cling to my structures because they feel safe. They feel, like, in quotes, right? They feel comfortable. I generally like rule following. I get very nervous about breaking rules. It's something like instilled in me from childhood. And then at the same time,
Catholicism.
right, exactly. And also I also, everything feels very heavy sometimes, and sometimes it just feels like, oh God, like this, it's very easy to get sucked into this nihilism, or like just despair of like, what is ever, like, just victim, and like, everything's just terrible. What are we ever going to do to rise above? Like, this is going to be so hard. We're up against so many awful, powerful people. But I love that kind of reframing of that you mentioned, of just kind of like, but what else is possible, and how can we
Well, and everything you
go
just
outside of
mentioned,
that?
all of that emotional heaviness, is it yours? And how much are you a vector for the legions and millions of women who will be negatively impacted by this? How much your body and your psyche is anticipating it's already happening. It's happening now. It's happening this weekend. All this, and even before, it's happening. Like,
it's been happening.
It's been happening, right? The anti-network is up and running. Like, they're going to come after these pills too, right? So I really just want to impress upon you that above and beyond this reality, you are as broad. Your consciousness is as broad as the multiverse, and has the forces of creation baked into it. You're not helpless and hopeless. We're not victims to this. Please don't. We are not victims. As soon as we go into victimhood as a race of women, we're fucked. Because that's part of the system. Victimhood is part of it. All this pearl clutching is part of it. It keeps us out of the race. It keeps us on the sidelines. It keeps us from asking for more money. It keeps us from demanding equity. So don't assume that all the heaviness is yours. You are feeling it, from all the women, all the legions, all the queer folks, everyone. And it takes just a bit of a mind bend to, okay, I acknowledge it. I feel it. And is it mine? And what else is possible? It's a shift. It really requires practice. It's not an easy, necessarily like a switch, but the sooner you can get back to lightness and joy, which is your natural state of being, let's face it, you're a comedian, you both are. Joy is it's your very essence. And so whatever's robbing you of that, wait a minute. Let's look at that. Let's look at it. And don't own it. Really don't take it on. Ain't yours. Put it up, put it on the curb. Boop. And so tell jokes about this while you're helping others, or whatever capacity you want to be creative around this. But it's your creativity and your lack of judgment. Because again, if we're going to judge Mitch McConnell or Alito or Clarence,
Yeah, you don't want to get in their orbit.
right? Again, then we're back in the sandbox with them.
Yeah.
But again, it's this constant, oh, that's right there. Oh, there we go. But it gets easier. It does get easier over time if you practice this stuff. One of the tools of access to, besides staying in the question, is this wonderful, ridiculous, we call it the clearing statement, and it's right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds, which very, very long story short in that is everything that's right about this, everything that's wrong about this, right, wrong, everything is we're judging as good and bad. So this system is based on judgment and polarity.
Mm-hmm. And binary.
System, right. Very binary ways of being. Think of computing, right? I mean, it's all, it's all very much that system. Whereas us as witches, we're in an expanded system. We are expansion. We are creativity. We are undefinable. And so if we stay there and don't let go of that, what else is possible, right? So anyway, right, wrong, good, bad, pod and pock stands. I love this point because it's pod. Pod stands for the point of creation, point of destruction, and the point of creation. Pod and pock. So every thought, feeling, idea, anti-choice, whatever, right? All of this stuff, every point of view has an origin, but it also has a destruction, an end date, we'll call it. Pod and pock, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock. All nines, I forget what that means. All nines shorts, forget what that means. Boys, I think boys stands for like the beyonds. And so we call the beyonds, basically Friday was an entire beyond where we all were like, anything that takes your breath away. I mean, whether you stub your toe or whether your rights were just stripped of you.
Potato.
Beyond, yeah. Like, you lose your life savings. That's a beyond. So anything, and that's designed to stop you. So everything that happened on Friday, this decision by SCOTUS is designed to immobilize us. It's designed to keep us like in a freeze frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to pull the lens out, get back up here in that creative joy space. All right, bitches. What else we're going to do, Pop, all night shorts, boys. POVADs, I love POVADs. It stands for the points of view that I'm avoiding and defending. So, how much in life do we avoid? Hello. How much are we defending against or for? So when we get into avoiding and defending points of view or materialist stuff, like whatever it is, we're avoiding and defending, we have an investment in it. And so this clearing statement is just literally like a douche, of detonating. So I use it a lot. Suffice it to say, anything that's going on in my body, like judgments that keep popping, PTSD, it's great for PTSD, right? Any looping thoughts, traumas, and dramas, you use this clearing. I think you can also find it at theclearingstatement.com or .org, whatever, if you want a refresher. And you'll see Dr. Dane here sort of explain it. But it's the whole idea behind all of this access stuff and all these tools that I'm really introducing here is about energy. Because words carry energy. Obviously, we as beings carry energy. The Supreme Court, everything, even how you hold your body has sort of an energetic blueprint. Your bed, your house, your life, your job, your relationships, right? And so when we say this clearing statement, when we ask questions, you feel like buzziness, right? Or you feel a density, right? So if we always just keep checking in with the body, because your body is this wonderful, again, like a vector, this sort of avatar for what's going on in the world, right? So when Kate was mentioning before about, all this heaviness, naturally. But if you stop and remember, wait a minute, I'm funny, I'm light, I'm joyful, I have such a good time most of the time. So what is all this? Is it mine? Oh no, my body. And let's face it, your mind is an extension of your body. That's why all this clackety clack crap that comes around up here, like, don't attach meaning to it. It's really a lot of Access for me has been about shifting into like this meditative state of being. When we do meditation, right? A lot of meditation is just, again, clackety clack, 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 right? I did transcendental meditation for years, and I just finally at one point I gave up. I was like, I can't shut this machine up here. I can't do it anymore. And when I went back for a refresher class, they were like, I think you forgot like the most fundamental piece, which is that all that clackety clack is the release of stress. And so I have just found personally that Access Consciousness, I'm much emptier and happier, using those tools than I am of sitting in meditation. So you just use what works for you. But just remember that this stuff that's showing up on the screen of your mind is like, is it yours? Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, are any of them yours? Mm-hmm. And at least in my case, I know very, very little going on up here. And that's the way I like it. Which is right. And then we can be creative, and we can be light, and we can be joyful, and we can come at all this heaviness from just a different way of being. And I promise everyone here, you get more of what you want from joy. Mm-hmm. We don't get it through this like self-flagellation, the Catholic flagellation, really just very BDSM anyway, but whatever.
Super kinky.
Super kinky. The dresses, the hats, all of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was just talking to my parents about like all the different Jesus statues in the churches we used to go to, and they were so like ripped and like kind of like and hanging on the it's very BDSM. But I know we're running short on time, and I did do an Access Bars with you a while back, and it was amazing, like incredible results right away. And my one regret is like 3 days after I did it with you, I started a new prescription for anxiety, and that totally messed up my system. But I'm just thinking back, I feel like that was a moment though, our conversation and then the work that you did on me was a big turning point for me in my grief that I was processing, and felt lighter ever since. And like, still moments of sadness, but still feel like here, present, able to, not heavy. So how do people who are interested, who are listening in Access Consciousness, Access Bars, how can they get in touch with you? How could they learn more about the workshops?
Yeah, do you have classes coming up?
Yes, what's going on?
I do. July 30th, I have a full day class in Brooklyn coming up. I'd love for any of your listeners to attend. It's $350 for the day. And then you basically, after one day, it's not like Reiki where you have to like, you have to kind of like, go through these big steps, but you're a practitioner and you can charge for the service after you take a one-day class. It's super easy. That's kind of what I love about it. It's like very democratic. This is not like, you got to graduate. So I got that one-day class coming up. Just come to my website, emilygrote.com, and my newsletter. There's a pop-up right there, and you can sign up for that and get.
Oh yeah, your newsletter is delightful.
We love your
Anyone
newsletter.
Anyone who signs up for Emily Grote's newsletter should absolutely sign up.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, a lot more of this crazy talk in that, and then I'm going to be in this coming fall after the summer, between 2022 and 2023. I'd love to tell your audience, I'm going to be starting two different, the Access Consciousness work that I do, and as I sort of tailor that, and I keep getting certified to teach, I'd love to get certified to teach the foundation class eventually. And as I grow in that, I would love your, just to sit on this and your audience to sit on this. Like, I'm either going to call it the Black Sheep Society or Congress of Weirdos. I don't know. Which feels lighter to you? Weirdos, right?
Weirdos, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Something
think so.
delightful about, yeah. Black Sheep is like a little heavy. But that's going to touch on, all my experiences kind of coming out of my family, coming out of the idea of family, right? Do infinite beings have families? Just a side note, for anybody who's suffering with CPTSD, hit me up. Tell me a person, PTSD, CPTSD, been there. So that'll be that. And then the other thing I'm going to be starting that's not necessarily access related. It's definitely more in the vein of neuroplasticity and coaching and getting us magical beings out of despair. It's going to be called The End of Chronic Illness. And I don't know if that'll be on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I hear all the kids are on TikTok, so maybe I'll check that out.
I have a TikTok. I have never made a TikTok. I just look.
Yeah.
I love TikTok
It's going to be
so
very
much.
short form videos, like, all about neuroplasticity and how the brain works. Because once people really understand like how this organ up here is designed, and it ain't really designed to keep you free, we can sort of get ahead of it and heal so that we can be this light. I didn't ever think I'd be able to be light. And here I am on the
You're
other
so
side.
light now. Yeah, I'm so excited for you. All this stuff sounds so fantastic, and I'm so glad that you're
I'm
putting
excited.
more of like your brilliant thoughts and minds and who you are out there too, because I think more and more people need to
Thank you.
access Emily.
Thank you. I'm really excited. Really excited.
That's good.
I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you for
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
reaching
being
out,
here.
and
It's our absolute pleasure.
my honor. Absolutely my honor.
I know you have to run. We can pull a card before, like after you leave, if you have time, like for 2 seconds.
Go ahead. My husband
Okay,
has
Emily, I don't know if you have a card
Rattle me.
handy or if you want me to grab one.
I do actually. Let's see
Okay.
here.
So,
Let's do the winged enchantment. I feel like
yes,
a bird today.
I love that one. I love a good bird oracle card.
You want to talk about a little lightness? Go with a bird oracle.
Enchantment. Anything with the word enchantment in it, I'm there.
Yeah, this is a super fun deck too. It's Kate got me this. It's
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that.
It's like
love the illustration.
it's like
It's very like
spirits.
sweet. I
very
feel like.
ethereal.
Yes,
Yeah.
very ethereal.
Let's give this a quick shuff. Shuff is short for shuffle.
Like stuff, right? That's what the kids.
It's not even a shuffle. It's so quick. It's
Shuff. It's a quick shuff. I was taking notes while you were talking. I've missed having class with you, Emily.
I miss
Aw.
you.
I
Well,
just love listening to you.
when I do this Congress of Weirdos thing, there'll be sort of like I'm going to do some kind of weekly call, I think. Yeah, I haven't figured it out.
I love
yeah,
that.
I'm so excited.
All right,
Sign
so I
me
got
up.
number 3, Bluebird.
Ooh, we've never had that
Bluebird.
one before.
And we'll post a picture of this in the Instagram.
Yes.
I will read the description real fast. So it says, I am Bluebird, the freedom of inner peace. I am the joy of letting go. I am the serenity of acceptance.
What?
What? And then
Okay.
each of these has like a little like you are thing at the bottom, and it says, you are the resurgence of vitality. You are whimsical. You are carefree. You are Bluebird.
Ta-da. I mean,
Tingles.
Emily, you nailed it.
I love it. I love it.
You see how magical of all the cards you could have picked. Isn't that amazing?
Perfection. My skin is cleared. My hangover's gone.
Ta-da. Ta-da. That was a perfect card. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm delighted. There's a longer description. I'll send you a picture of everything, and we can
Yes.
post it.
So yeah, absolutely. So we'll wrap it up here. People can reach you at your website, like you said, emilygrote.com, and sign up for your newsletter. And then your Instagram handle, remind me
I
again.
think it's Emily Grote _psychic medium.
Okay, we'll tag you in our
Feels
Insta
true.
as
Yeah.
well. And anything else? Any other ways that you want people to get in touch or anything else?
Yeah, on anywhere, the socials or that or the newsletter. That's probably the best way. Or email.
And you're still
email. Emily@emilygrote.com. Shoot, yeah. Tell me what you think about those titles, folks.
Oh yeah.
What's your vote Yeah.
Yeah, taking a little poll.
Yeah.
And you still are offering psychic and medium readings as well,
You
of
betcha.
course. Okay,
For the
great.
foreseeable future.
Yeah. And you can
Ah,
reach us at Witchcast Podcast. We'll be tagging all of Emily's stuff again on our Insta, and she's also on our website if you want to reach her. And but if you like us, leave a little review and rating and help other people find us. And until next time,
Hex
yeah.
yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.